Hi, my name is Sine and welcome back to my channel if you've already been here, and hi if you're new. I hope you stick around. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I do my acrylic overlay over my natural nails. And to get straight into the video, first thing that you're going to need is a good quality acrylic powder. I recommend getting acrylic powder from maybe Planet Nails, but it has to be a very good quality acrylic powder because this is the most important part that's actually going to stick to your nail. Next thing that you're going to need is monomer. This is actually written acetone, I know, but it's actually monomer. Now when it comes to monomer, honestly, you don't necessarily have to get the highest quality or the most expensive one. Just a regular monomer will do. Once again, you can get all of this from Takealot or Planet Nails. I recommend getting it from Takealot, and so that you can actually see the reviews on the products before you can get them. I do get most of my nail supplies from my aunt, but I still recommend Takealot. And the next thing that you're going to need is a very good quality acrylic brush. It has to be a good quality because when you use it and you dip it into your acrylic powder, if it's like cheap, your acrylic powder is literally just going to build up on the brush and you're not going to be able to get like smooth strokes with it. So it has to be a very good quality acrylic brush. Then you're going to need a dapping dish. This is a shot glass. I just use a shot glass. This is just basically for you to put your monomer inside. So I just use a shot glass. It's the same thing as a dapping dish anyway. This one is optional. I basically use acetone for cleaning up when I do my nail designs with my gel polish. So it's not necessarily a must to have when you're doing your nails, but it is a must to have when you remove your nails. The next thing that you're going to need is your tissue paper. I use toilet paper. The reason being is you need this so that you're able to clean your brush in between applications so that monomer or acrylic powder is not building up on your brush. The reason why I use toilet paper is literally just it's the same thing. I've used tissue paper before, but there's not really much of a difference, so toilet paper is fine. And this is how the acrylic powder should look. It should be a really fine acrylic powder, not one that you can actually see the granules of. And now to the nails. As you can see, these two are much shorter than the rest of my nails. I don't necessarily know how it happened, but both of them managed to chip around the similar length. And I think it has something to do with the fact that I literally rip off my acrylics with my teeth, which is very, very bad. So I'm not surprised that they got weak at some point and they both chipped off. But anyway, I'm going to show you how you can fix that without having to cut all your nails to be the same size, or how to basically avoid using tips on all of your nails. Next thing that you're going to need is a file. This can be a regular quality file as long as it's strong enough to actually shape your nails properly and to buff, well, to remove the shine off of the surface of your nails. That's basically what you're going to need this brush for. I don't know where I put my really nice one, but this is the only one that I've got in hand, and I'm not trying to come on here and act fancy. I'm just going to use what I can grab my hands on right now, and I'm going to use what is effective. Now onto shaping your nails. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to actually shape to your desired shape that you want. But when it comes to shaping your natural nails, do not move back and forth at once. Move only in one direction. As you can see here, I'm moving to the, well, to me it's front. To you, I don't know how it looks, but I'm basically moving the nail brush in one direction, because if you move it in two different directions at the same time, what happens is that you create little tears within your nail, and these are the tears that literally stick onto your clothing or stuff like that, and that's the things that basically snag onto your nail and make them break. So if you do struggle with keeping your nails long, it could be that reason, because you're making these little tears that make it easy for your nail to grab onto things. Now I'm going to use this method to do the rest of my nails. Once I'm done with both hands, I'm going to make sure that they're all the same length. And this is how I actually check that they're all the same length. I basically put my nails on top of one another and double check that there's no nail that's going far above the line that you can see. Like, you know, there's that pink area, and then there's like the whitish type of area. Yeah, that's what I basically do to make sure that they're all the same size, and that one is not longer than the other or one is not shorter than the other. Now to prep my nail for the acrylic application, I'm going to basically remove the shine from my nail. When you look at your nail, there's going to be a slight shine. I'm just going to remove that by moving my file in circular motions until I don't see anything that's smooth. All I see is just the roughness that I've created with the file. This is going to help the acrylic powder to actually stick on properly on the nail, because it has something to grip on, because a smooth surface is just going to, with time, it's just going to lift off. And when it comes to successfully laying acrylic on your natural nails, the most important thing that you need to remember is preparation. Basically how you prep your nail for the acrylic application, because if you can master prep, trust me, your acrylics will not pop off or cause any damage to your nail. And to prep your nail is honestly very simple. The main focus is just filing. So if you make sure that the surface of your nail is filed properly and that your cuticle area is also removed of dead skin cells, then you're good. That's literally all you need to do. Now I'm going to use this pH bond that's basically going to act as a dehydrator for my nail surface to make sure that my acrylic can actually stick better onto my nails. This is the first time I'm actually using it. You don't necessarily have to use this. This is just me being a little bit fancy. You don't need to use this. Even if you don't use this, trust me, you'll be able to still stick your acrylics, well, your acrylic powder on your nail bed without it lifting, as long as, like I said before, your preparation is done properly. Now once I'm done applying it to all my nails, I'm going to actually just quickly set up what I need. First thing that I need is the tissue for me to be able to clean off my brush, my dapping dish for me to put on my monomer, and my powder, of course. Now to start, I'm just going to dip my brush in this monomer and wipe the excess off, and keep doing that. Then I'm going to actually dip it into the acrylic powder. When I go in to dip the brush, I'm going to use a very light hand, almost like I don't necessarily want to pick it up, so that I can pick up a small amount. And when I start to apply it, I'm going to start near the cuticle area, but not directly on top of it. Acrylic powder does not go on your cuticle, not at all. It should not even be too close to your cuticle, because if you put it there, it's going to lift. It's going to give it room for it to lift. So as you can see from this video, I put it close there and I just basically bring it down to the rest of the nail. And this is the part where the tissue comes in handy. It's because I wipe the excess off, like I wipe any acrylic that could have been left off from my previous picking up of it. Then I go back in and I repeat the same process, except for this time I take the bead in the middle of my nail. There's multiple ways that you can apply your acrylic powder. I'm going to show you both of the ways. There's this method here that I'm showing you, is where you can pick up the acrylic powder in 3 different ways. One closer to the cuticle area, like the first one in the middle, and then the third one, which is a little bit further down, so that you can build a strong apex. An apex is basically the middle part of your nail that is the most thickest. That is where the acrylic gets most of its strength from. This is what's going to make it stick onto your nail even if you bump it against something. And so I basically apply the acrylic powder as one would nail polish, not going anywhere on the sides. And if it goes on the sides, I'm going to clean it up with the same brush. And don't forget to wipe off as you are using the acrylic. Wipe off your brush so that acrylic does not build up, because remember, acrylic gets hard. So if you're not continuously wiping your brush with monomer on it, the acrylic is going to get hard on your brush, and then you're going to not have a smooth application. You're going to have streaks where you can actually see the hard acrylic that's on your brush. So I'm going to skip the short nails and go on to the other. And once again, just keep in mind that when you apply acrylic, you apply it in the same principles that one would nail polish. You don't go on top of your cuticle and you don't go on the side. And if you do happen to go on the side by accident, you just clean it up with the brush, because if you go on the side, that's going to cause lifting, and that's going to make your acrylic not last long. You're basically going to have acrylic that lifts within a couple of days. So apply it the same way that you would nail polish. Just clean up on the sides and be quick to clean up when you see it, because remember, acrylic dries. And when applying acrylic, do keep a very light hand when you use it, because if you're heavy-handed with your acrylic powder, you're basically going to be wiping it off. So when you keep a light hand, as you can see I'm doing here, doing very tiny little taps and dragging the acrylic where I want it, it's easier for the acrylic to move, and the acrylic is not just going to be pulled down with the direction of my brush. And also notice how I'm tilting my nail towards the ground, because that allows for the acrylic to also move in the right direction and to not end up going up my cuticle area, which is going to flood my cuticle area. And like I said, you don't want acrylic on your cuticle area because it is going to cause lifting. Once I have successfully laid my acrylic on all the fingers except for the ones that are chipped, my middle fingers, I'm now going to grab some tips. I'm going to measure them to my nail. So here's a little hack that I have for you. So because of the length of my middle fingers, if I were to put this tip the way one would if they had short nails, it is going to just pop off. So what I do instead is that I put the tip underneath my nail. Like as you can see here, I basically put it underneath my nail. I'm just going to file the sides a little bit because they're a little bit pointy and they kind of create a little barrier, because I want this to fit right like a glove right underneath my nail. The reason why I do this is, one, I don't want to cut my nails. Two, if I were to apply this the way that I would a normal tip, if I were to bump something, it's going to pop off. It's not going to survive. And when it does pop off, it's probably also going to tear my nail bed as well, and then my whole nail is going to have to go, and I wouldn't want to do that. Now this time when I apply my acrylic, I'm going to put a ton of acrylic in the area between my nail and the tip. The reason being is I want that area to be the strongest area, because it's carrying a little bit excess weight, which is going to be the tip. So I kind of apply a lot, solely for the purpose of just making sure that this nail is strong, but I keep to the same principles, using a really light hand, not flooding my cuticle area, and also cleaning up if any acrylic gets on the sides. And even though it's going to be a bit messy to do this process in terms of the nail is not going to look cute, it's going to look thick, down the line I'm going to file it down to be just like the rest of the nails. I'm just doing this so that my nail is really nice and strong. I'm also going to fill in the gaps on the side. Just make sure that this nail is really nice and secure. I did my other hand off camera, and this is how they look. You just have to trust the process, okay? Trust it. I'm going to clean up my acrylic brush. I basically clean up my acrylic brush by using any of the leftover monomer and just using it to wipe any possible acrylic that could be on my brush, so that I do not leave the acrylic, because if I leave the acrylic is going to get hard and I won't be able to use this brush, because once that acrylic gets hard on the brush, it's almost near impossible to get it out without damaging the brush, and the brush will be useless. The length of these tips remind me of a time when I had nails this long. I'll put the clips somewhere here. Now it's time to clip them to be shorter, just like the rest of the nails. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to file it as well. Now onto the filing process. I already did file to the nail shape that I desired before I laid the acrylic, but now I'm going to go in again and I'm going to make sure that the surface is nice and smooth. This time I can file in any direction that I want, but when it comes to the cuticle, I'm going to make sure that I file very close to my cuticle, but not enough to hurt myself, just enough for me to start to see my natural nail. You want the acrylic to be as thin as possible near the top, if I can use the word thin. This is basically going to not allow for lifting to happen. Once that's done, I'm going to just dust off, and now I can get into doing the nail design. I love doing a French nail, so I'm most probably going to do a French nail, and I'm going to go in with this like teal type of color. This is the part that I find a little bit time consuming, simply because of the design that I choose. I don't know why I love French tips so much, because they take the most time. But anyway, I'm going to use this tiny little nail art brush to start doing my tips. Not to go too much into detail in how I do the design, I'm basically just going to paint a line, and then I'm going to shape it into the shape that I want it to be. I usually follow the natural shape of how my nails are in that section where they become like, you know, the French type thing. I usually follow that and I draw along that, because I just think that suits my nails better, because my nails already look like that. But I just find that it works for me, and it also gives me a perfect guide on how to do a French nail, because I can actually see how my nails look. Then using a little bit of acetone, I'm going to use this to basically clean up any mess that I may have made while making this, and also just to make the French tip neater. Also going to be using the tissue once again to wipe off the excess that I do take off with the acetone. Though I know that I'm going for a French tip, I actually don't know what type of French tip it's going to be, what type of pattern I'm going to put within the tip itself. So I'm going to see, but right now I kind of want to do an abstract type of thing using the different hues of blues that I have. Once I'm done cleaning that up, I'm just going to cure it for 2 minutes. Then I'm going to go with my darker blue. Like I said, I'm going to go for like an abstract type of vibe. Not too neat, but neat type of design. They're not going to be identical, because I genuinely do not have the energy to do identical French tips right now. So that's why I'm just going to go for something abstract. After I'm really happy with the second color, I'm going to cure it again for another 2 minutes. And once the second color is done curing, I'm thinking of doing just white random lines. So I'm going to use my white gel polish to do that. I forgot to record me putting on my top coat, but I put on my top coat and now I'm going to remove the tacky surface layer with some alcohol. Well, it's actually nail surface cleaner and it's in the wrong bottle again, but it's nail surface cleaner, and that is basically going to be the last step and my nails would be done. Just gonna dust them off, and this is how they came out. I'm really happy with how they came out. Please let me know what you think of these nails in the comment section. Let me know which other type of videos you'd like to see from me. Anyway, I pray that you have a good day, have a good evening, good night, good morning, whatever it is. Just have a good existence, okay? Thank you so much for watching this video. Please do like, comment and subscribe, and also please do let me know if this video was helpful to you and if it encouraged you to also do your own acrylic nails at home. But once again, thank you so much for watching.